Hello, fourth graders, Miss Leon again. Here we go, on to our next lesson in nonfiction reading. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you our just our virtual learning journal for reading the weather, reading the world, or nonfiction texts. Here is our virtual reading journal for nonfiction text reading. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by looking on the inside cover. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to think about what kind of nonfiction we're already reading in our lives. In the first session, we talked about different kinds of nonfiction. So now this is a good time for you to reflect back on where you're reading or where you're seeing this kind of nonfiction texts or things that you're reading within your life on your own. Then we're going to start talking about the 5 different text structures, which is really important when we're doing nonfiction reading. So there's 5 different text structures. You can remember learning about some of this back in 3rd grade. There's the descriptive text structure. And when you're looking at descriptive texts, you will see that descriptive texts tell you about something by describing its characteristics. Some clue words about some clue words that nonfiction texts have for descriptive text structure is the word about, is a, has a, does. For instance, such as an example to illustrate. Those are some of those keywords that could tell you that you might be reading a descriptive text structure. And when we see a descriptive text and we want to find the main ideas and information, what we would typically do is we would use a map where we put our main idea or topic inside the center, and then we would use um, these little rays, if you will, with little bubbles that would show like the details that support that main topic. Next, Next, we are going to talk about the chronology text structure. And the chronology text structure, the purpose of that is to tell steps or how things go in order. Some clue words for the chronology text structure include using the words like first, second, third, next, before, then, last, finally, after, or giving you like numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4 or things like that. So when we look at the map for this, we just kind of see a box with an arrow going to the next step and an arrow going to the step after that, and so on and so forth. That is a good way to kind of help map that kind of text structure, is just by making a box or a number or a line with arrows going to the next thing. The next text structure we will talk about is problem solution. And the problem solution structure tells you about a problem, um, the attempted solutions, like what they try to do to solve the problem, and then the result, because things don't always get solved. They can have a resolution, but not always just a solution. So some of those keywords are a problem is, solution is, due to, dilemma, have solved this by, and puzzled or the issue. And what we do is we take whatever that problem is, and then we draw an arrow to the solution or the attempted solution to that problem. Then we have a compare and contrast text structure, where that text structure tells you about the similarities and differences of at least 2 different things, sometimes maybe more. So what we do is we use words like same, similar, alike, resemble, both, in common, or you can use words like different, opposite, on the other hand, or contrast. And how we map those text structures are with a Venn diagram, where we have two things, and then in some cases they're the same, and then in other ways they're different. And the last text structure that we will learn about is the cause and effect text structure. The cause and effects text structure tells you the reasons why something happens or why it is caused. And some of those key words or clue words include because of, cause, since, therefore, result, effect, or in order to. And what we do is we have this kind of central cause and some of the effects or possible effects. And sometimes it's a kind of a chain reaction where you have a cause and then there's an effect. And then after that, there's an effect due to that. So it ends up being kind of a domino effect of cause and effect. So when we go into our learning, there will be some different examples of our text structures. And when we go into our lesson, you will have this page also in your journal, and we can talk more about this at that time. But I went ahead and looked at these different paragraphs and went ahead and highlighted the clue words. And that helped me determine the text structure as well as reading what was being stated inside those paragraphs. But we need to remember that when we are reading a text to find the main idea, that we first skim the text and underline or highlight any of those clue words that I was just talking about to help you kind of make a guess about what text structure you might be reading. Then you're going to choose one of those maps that will help fit the text structure you believe that text to be. Then you're going to go and read the text. You're going to look for the information that fits the part of the map or the text structure you originally thought this text would be. After reading that text, you can either say, that is the text structure I thought it was, or maybe not so much. I might need to adjust my thinking and choose a different kind of map to map out and lay out the important information of the text I just read. Then after doing that, you should move forward and map the text. The point of mapping your text is to help you find the main idea of what you're reading and those supporting details. In our next lesson, we're going to start to learn about the descriptive text, and we're going to learn how to map that together, and then you will try that on your own.